Good morning. Javier Becerra, privileged to be the Attorney General for this great state of California. I'm joined by the leaders of higher education here today to make a very important announcement. But also, I want to, before we begin, say thank you to the president of the UC system, Janet Napolitano, to the Chancellor of the California Community Colleges, Eloy Ortiz Oakley, and to the Executive Vice Chancellor for Academic and Student Affairs at the California State University System, Lauren Blanchard. Thank you very much for being with us. Thank you for standing shoulder to shoulder with those who want to live the dream. How appropriate that this week that we celebrate Martin Luther King Day, that we should be talking about those who wish to dream. We don't want them to stop. And so that's why we are here. Last week, the Federal District Court in Northern California took a very important step and told the Trump administration that it was going to put on hold its efforts to repeal the DACA program for America's Dreamers. That was important because on March 5th, Donald Trump had decided that some 800,000 Dreamers who had applied for DACA status would be in total limbo and in fear of deportation. Today, not only is DACA alive, but the Homeland Security Department of the federal government is accepting renewal applications from those very DACA recipients. And so it's time for the next important step. The litigation will continue. The preliminary injunction that we got in our case, working together with the people you see here today, allows all of those DACA dreamers who had applied for DACA in the past to continue forward with their DACA status, which means renewal, reauthorization of their work permits, ability to move forward in their education, and we hope more certainty in their lives, which have been thrown into chaos by the actions last fall of Donald Trump in trying to repeal the DACA program. This preliminary injunction remains in place during the pendency of the trial, of the litigation that has been filed. And I, again, want to thank all those individuals and those entities in the state of California that came forward, along with some of my state AG colleagues from other states. I remember having conversations with President Napolitano before filing this lawsuit and before the UC system also filed its lawsuit about how important it was to take action. And I remember having conversations after we had filed the lawsuit on how we needed to work together on this. Crucial because today we see the fruits of all that work in this preliminary injunction. We know that the federal government has decided to appeal the district court's granting of the preliminary injunction, but we're ready, as we were before. We will fight side by side with those dreamers. What the dreamers always say is apt for us as well. They are undocumented and unafraid. We here, we are unbowed and unafraid. We will fight because we believe that those who build this country, who build California, should continue to have opportunity. And so today we announce in a full-throated way to each and every dreamer who has applied for DACA, if it is expiring, if your status is expiring or did expire, consider renewing your DACA application now. Make sure you consult with those you trust, an attorney, a legal advisor, those who help you fill out your DACA paperwork, but consider reapplying for the DACA status now. With that, let me turn to the president of the UC system and a partner in this litigation, Janet Napolitano.
Well, thank you, Attorney General, and I can only try to echo what you said. We're here today to send the message to our students who are in DACA or whose DACA enrollment expired before September 5th. Enroll now, reapply now. There is guidance on the UC website about what steps you need to take. We have legal services available to assist you. There may be funds to help you with your application fee from the Mission Asset Fund, which is a private 501c3. But it's important now to get your registration in. We stand with our DACA students. They are important members of our university community. These are young people who came to this country, were brought to this country usually at a very young age. The median age of someone who's in DACA when they were brought into the United States is 6 years old. They've been raised in this country. They know this country as home. They've done everything we've asked of them. They're getting their education, and a number are in the institutions of higher education in California, which is why all of us are standing together with the Attorney General to deliver this important announcement for our DACA students. Re-enroll now, reapply now for DACA. And know that we will continue this litigation. We believe that the federal district court's ruling and preliminary injunction was correct and ultimately will be sustained. But there's no stay in this case. The government did not seek one. And that means that the order is in effect. DACA is resuscitated as of now, as if it had never been, as if there had not been an announcement on September 5 of 2017. So with that, I'd like to turn the podium over to Chancellor Eloy Ortiz Oakley of the California Community College System.
Thank you, President Napolitano. And on behalf of the more than 70,000 undocumented students in the California community colleges, we're very proud to stand with Attorney General Becerra, with President Napolitano, and with Dr. Blanchard of the California State University System, and with all of you. Our students, our dreamers, our DACA students are tremendous economic assets in the 114 communities that we serve. They are as American as any one of us. All they know is the communities that they live in and what they can do to improve their communities. And they're doing so each and every day in our classrooms, in our community, providing service and support to every Californian possible. So we stand by them, we support them, and we continue to ask and demand a permanent resolution of this issue on their behalf. They are economic assets. Why we wouldn't want them to stay in this country is beyond me. So I want to thank again all of you for continuing to support our DACA students, our dreamers. We want to make sure that they understand that we want them to renew their status. We want them to apply. We want them in our colleges. We want them in our communities. We also have support for them. Financial support. If they are interested, they can visit the I Can Afford College website. It's icanaffordcollege.org. And we're going to continue to help them find resources to stay in this country and continue to go to our colleges. So again, thank you, Attorney General Becerra, for continuing to stand by our students. And with that, I want to turn it over to Dr. Lauren Blanchard of the California State University System.
Thank you so very much, Eloy. We are here as the California State University System to really stand in solidarity with the Attorney General's office, with our sister institutions, the University of California and the California Community College System, as well as with the state of California, and essentially to ensure that we are urging our DACA recipients in the California State University, totaling about 8,000, if they have not yet filed their renewals and they are eligible to do so, that we're urging to take advantage of this time right now. And we're also urging and imploring our federal policymakers to do everything they possibly can to remove this cloud of confusion, this cloud of anxiety and fear that many of our undocumented students and their families are living under at this particular time. And so with all of the energy and all of the efforts that are now at play in California to give support to our DACA students, we want to make sure that they're hearing our message loudly and clearly that now is the time to act. And that secondly, we are here to give as great of support as you've heard both at the University of California and the California Community College System, resources that are just easily acceptable on our websites so that students will not have any sense of confusion whatsoever about what it is that can be done, but that more importantly, the human resources that are there to give the greatest level of support to all of our students. We can't forget the fact that when we're talking about our students, that we have to put faces and voices to these young individuals. We see them clearly as the thought innovators. We see them clearly as the inquisitive scholars, the adept researchers. We're very fortunate to even have our student board member, George Salinas from Peru, is an undocumented student and is providing the greatest level of leadership imaginable to our board, but more importantly, how fortunate we are to have him and other such leaders within the state of California who are doing everything possible to ensure that not only that they acquire that degree that they're here to acquire, but more importantly, that they then find themselves directly working in the California workforce and really becoming and continuing their leadership roles as citizens as well as leaders in their communities. And so, again, cannot thank all of you enough for being here today. This is a really important day, a really important message for all of our Dreamer students and our undocumented students. We are here for you, and more importantly, we are going to support you to the full extent that we can. I'll turn it back over now to the Attorney General.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Blanchard. Let me just say one quick thing in Spanish, since I know we're joined by our networks in Spanish and journalists in Spanish. Me da un orgullo poder decir que todos los líderes, los grandes líderes de las instituciones de educación universitaria están aquí en este momento. The University of California, the California State University System, the California Community College System, los grandes líderes de esas tres instituciones que brindan estudio universitario para todos nuestros hijos, están aquí diciendo la misma cosa. Si usted es soñador y aplicó para DACA, por favor, considere en este momento otra vez entregar su solicitud para renovar el estatus de DACA. Algo importante, consulte con alguien que sabe bien el programa, si tiene abogado o alguien que puede dar aviso legal, pero por favor, tome a ventaja del hecho de que en este momento puede entregar su solicitud para el DACA otra vez. With that, we'll take any questions.